What's up, guys? We're back with another BBR video. This is my week 2 match of season 8 versus Matt and his Cotswold Whimsicott. Make sure you guys check out Matt in the description down below, and also check out all the other BBR coaches. But obviously you can tell this doesn't match up with my face cam, like the audio. This is because it is a post commentary. For some godforsaken reason, my audio was super staticky. Like, you could hear me fine, but there was just a layer of static in the background. So I think I fixed the issue. But we're just gonna do post commentary. I'm not gonna make you guys listen to that. I tried to edit it and it just didn't work. But if you didn't watch my team builder, make sure you guys watch the team builder so you can see why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. But the air balloon Garnacho or Iron Moth is our dedicated lead always. This is to get up at T-Spike because T-Spike helps out with Raging Bolt, Ting Lu, and any of the mons that aren't heavy duty boots, obviously. Especially Ting Lu, because we can chip that guy down. But the whole game plan with this is for Sneasel to just put in so much damage, and then for my Scarf Urshifu to win, plus Rotom Wash. Also Lando T can come in clutch. Jirachi obviously is here for the kind of a mixture of Raging Bolt and the Iron Boulder. But look how fun to mount. Let's get this week 2 W for BBR. Really need this week 2 W. I want to start off the season strong. Already won my week 1 match, so definitely want to start off 2-0. That'd be really great. But Matt is going to lead off with his Ogerpon. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so help me reach that goal, please. But we do see the Ogerpon, which this is exactly what we saw in all of our mocks. I know John led Iron Boulder a couple of times to try to make me pivot around and see, just so I can kind of get different looks. And then also I think he led Raging Bolt, but Ogerpon was kind of the consensus lead against my team. And this just, oh, I'm sorry about that, just dropped my phone. But the consensus lead was always Ogerpon, but we're gonna get our T-Spike up pretty easily here. This T-Spike can come in very clutch, like I said, for like the Ting Lu and stuff. We get this T-Spike up, and then after that we can just U-turn out on the Ting Lu, because the Ting Lu is probably the pivot. If we see anything else, like a Great Tusk maybe, then we go from there. But we do see the Mudsdale come out, which is going to be Ting Lu. If you haven't seen Matt's videos, Matt is calling all of the Pokemon old generation Pokemon names, so that's the whole bit. So we see the Mudsdale. We're gonna click U-turn here, and then just immediately go into probably Rotom Wash, because if we see a Ruination come off, that's not the greatest for us. But we could also just see Matt want to elect to get up hazards, because I can't really do much damage to this guy. I would have to, you know, because this Pokemon could also just click Ruination, pop my air balloon, could click a rock move and kill me, even with the air balloon. But we can just U-turn out here and then go directly into our Rotom Wash. I kind of debated here for a while, because I think Landorus holds a lot of merit. I think Rotom Wash holds a lot of merit in this match, and I don't really want to risk a Ruination for HP. Like, I really don't want either of these mons to be chipped, but I don't really have a better option, because I need Jirachi to have HP for the Iron Boulder. I can't go hard Sneasel because if he clicks rock move, you get the gist of it. But I go into Rotom Wash here, and we just see Stealth Rocks come out. So not the greatest for us, because Sneasel is going to be taking rocks. Iron Moth is going to be taking rocks. Jirachi is my only boots mon this week, but I don't think he will really elect to get spikes up. And if he does try to spike stack me, it's not the greatest. But Rotom Wash isn't affected by spikes, and neither is Landorus. And I don't think it really, the only thing it could really matter for is putting the Urshifu in range of a Thunderclap, or the Jirachi in range of a Thunderclap, or the Sneasel, obviously, which Sneasel, he takes rocks. He's already almost in range of a fucking Thunderclap, to be frank. But here we can just kind of try to pivot out around this. We're gonna click Nasty Plot this first turn to see what he elects to do, because if he decides to get a spike up, then we force a lot of chip on this Raging Bolt. The next turn it comes in on a Hydro Pump, so it would be taking a T-Spike and a +2 Hydro Pump, which did about 38% depending on the spread. But we just click Nasty Plot, and he decides to go hard into the Raging Bolt. So here we have to pivot out, because obviously we need health on the Rotom Wash. I probably could have just clicked Volt Switch here, but I would rather like, I would elect to stay fully healthy, then go down below 50, get my citrus berry, go to 75, and get a little bit of damage off, if that makes sense. Because I do feel like I can deal with this raging bolt pretty easily with the team that I've brought. So thunderclap can just be kind of annoying, but I am gonna elect to switch here. I really have to try to call. I cannot go Landorus though, because if he's like a specs variant or a very offensive variant and he just drops a Draco, then I am fucked. So I need health on Landorus to try to help against that great test. So I have to go directly into Jirachi. Martinez, you did your job. You didn't really do anything, but you scared out the team loot. I'm gonna go into my Dalot, the Jirachi making his debut for the Morpeko United. And we see the Dragon Pulse come out and do like no damage, which is very nice for us. And the Girafarig, Raging Bolt, is going to take some poison damage. So T-Spike coming in clutch, putting this Pokemon already at 75% just from being in 2 turns. So very, very clutch. That T-Spike coming in very clutch for us. Shout out to Central for that T-Spike shout. And also John, obviously. But at this point, we can just U-turn out here. If he elects to stay in, we see what his spread is. If he's a faster variant, but I don't think he can risk us being faster than him, because we could be like the Choice Scarf flinch variant, you know what I mean, like with Heart. What is it? Heart? I can't remember what it's called. Or we can just try to Iron Head flinch him. We wouldn't do much damage, but we're just going to get a big U-turn out here. And at this point, I U-turn and I do some decent chip, bring this Pokemon down to about 75%. And this Pokemon did take Toxic Spike, which is very, very clutch for us. And here I'm debating on the safe play is to go Rotom Wash. But also Sneasel Okos this Pokemon at the range it is. Because based off the U-turn damage, I saw that it wasn't very physically defensive. That it had some Fizz Def, but it wasn't enough to where it could live this hit. So I did like minimum 77% or like 74%, I think, in this Pokemon. After, I think it reveals lefties, even after lefties and then the poison damage, it should be in range of triple Axle. So, and like Sneasel, Anthony does great. Anthony was horrible for Man United and has been horrible for Man United. Please God, fucking sell that player. That player is horrible. But Sneasel, Anthony is going to come in and force a lot of pressure. And when you look at Matt's team is weak to this Pokemon. Like all 6 of his Pokemon are weak to my stabs in Dark and Ice. So you can see that this Pokemon is below 75% based on the HP. And like I'm looking, it's at like 70% after poison damage. This Pokemon drops. Like, and I'm debating if it's in range. It's in range. It's in range. It's in range. So I'm gonna click triple Axle here. I'm just praying that Sneasel is going to hit his move. Like literally in mocks, I didn't miss a triple Axle. In like 12 mocks that I did not miss a single triple Axle, like ever. And it hits 3 times. So, and I missed the triple Axle immediately, right off the bat. So great start to the game. And he's gonna click Heavy Slam and just completely OHKO me. And you see, my immediate reaction is to get up. I was very distraught because at that point, I waved bye-bye to the camera. At that point, Sneasel, like in every mock, Sneasel got like 3 to 4 kills. So because I positioned Sneasel and it just forced in the Iron Boulder, and then I swapped around that. But Sneasel always got kills, and then Rotom Wash cleaned the game up for me, or Urshifu or Landorus. So now I'm just immediately put at a disadvantage. Obviously not Matt's fault though. Matt didn't Matt didn't hack the game and make it to where I missed the move. But I do miss my triple Axle, which does suck. Now I'm put in a very, very tough spot because I could have just been safe and went Rotom Wash, but I was trying to play a very offensive game. My team is very offensive, but now I have to go Rotom Wash and just be kind of stagnant because now that I've revealed Nasty Plot, he could think that I am a very offensive set, and at the range it is, there was a chance I did like 45-ish%, but if I got a Nasty Plot off on this guy, then I did a lot of damage. Like I did a lot of damage to my opponent's team. Here I am just gonna like the Hydro Pump, pretty tilted because I missed that triple Axle, but not much you can do. But at this point, I Hydro Pump, and if he goes Ogre Pond, then I can pivot out if he goes into the Raging Bolt, I can also pivot out. It'd be an uncomfortable pivot. I'd have to probably go Jirachi or Landorus at that point. Just would depend on what I think he would click at that point. But we do see, I said at that point like 9 times just then. We do see the Zarude, aka Ogerpon, come out on my Hydro Pump, and we see he does not take a Toxic Spike, so he is heavy duty boots Ogerpon, and we do about 16ish% with a Hydro Pump, so getting some type of chip. And if this Pokemon isn't Horn Leech, it doesn't have recovery. I guess it could be Rest, but here I'm probably thinking he's going to click Knockoff, and I don't want any of my other items knocked off. I cannot go Jirachi and take a knockoff to the face. That would suck. I can't go Lando T because obviously Defiant, Ogerpon has the ability Defiant, so if I intimidate him and lower his stats, it would actually just raise his attack instead of lowering his attack. I don't want my knockoff, or I don't want my Choice Scarf knocked off on Urshifu. Iron Moth is kind of not needed this game. It already got its Toxic Spike up. I can do some decent damage to all of his Pokemon, but the only play I can go for is the Iron Moth. If he is Trailblazed though, and he Trailblazes here, pops my balloon, this game could get pretty dicey because I don't have Bandit Ice Shard in the bag from the Sneasel at this point. So I go into this, and we do see that Matt is just going to elect to click Knockoff. So best case scenario for us, honestly, now we have to risk a Speed Tie, which I am fine with. I was kind of just sacking my Iron Moth anyways, but we can just click Fiery Dance here, and if the Tinglu comes out, we can put some decent damage on that guy and get a special attack boost, maybe, and just click it twice. We have Dazzling Gleam or Energy Ball, like Fiery Dance +1 special attack into the Energy Ball, we would KO, but we do not have that, unfortunately. We needed U-Turn, because the whole point in this team was to pivot around with U-Turn on this, U-Turn on Lando, Full Switch on Rotom, U-Turn on the Urshifu, and get in my Sneasel and just chip things down with Toxic Spike, the poison damage, and U-Turning. But we do not have Energy Ball or the Dazzling Gleam, so we're gonna have to click Fiery Dance here. We would have clicked that anyways to try to see if we can get a special attack raise, and we do no damage, like 15%, but we do get a special attack raise. So Garnacho's trying to do his best here for us and get some boosts. My only real play here is to just stay in, to be honest, and get some more damage. I could go hard Landorus, but it doesn't really matter because I don't kill the following turn. So kind of have to just do this and hope for the best, and see what happens. Because if I do this, I Fiery Dance, it puts him very low, and then I can go probably Urshifu and just U-turn out and then gain some momentum. I almost killed this guy, but it's okay. I'm starting down, but also I've gotten chip on Ogerpon, I've gotten chip on Raging Bolt, and I've also chipped this Mon down. So really putting myself in a decent position to try to work my way back and get a W here. But it was after that Sneasel miss, I kind of felt like I was on the back foot, and I really had to play. I have to play super perfect at this point to try and win me this game. I could go a different assortment of things. I could go Landorus, I could go Urshifu, I could even go Rotom, I could go Jirachi, I could go anything. I outspeed and I kill with U-turn on Lando, Urshifu, or the Jirachi, and then Rotom Wash can kill with the Hydro Pump. But I'm trying to debate what I would rather take. Rock's Chip, and I would rather my Urshifu take Rock's Chip because it's more offensive, and I'd rather have even a sliver of more health. I can't talk. On my Lando T than my Urshifu, because Urshifu is kind of just going to be clicking and attacking move anyways, and it doesn't really need health. Like I'm kind of, it's already pretty naturally bulky. With Lando, I need my HP that I have. I don't need it taking 2 rounds of rocks for no reason just to get an extra kill, you know what I mean? So I do get the U-turn off on the Tinglu, and we finally get a kill. Let's go. This Tinglu should have died forever ago. But we finally get a kill like 15 minutes in, and that's fine. Now we have a couple of different options. We go Jirachi. It probably invites in it could invite in Great Tusk, but we could be a more offensive set, and we could just Oko that guy. We could see an Ogerpon come out. We could see an Iron Boulder come out, which this is my Iron Boulder check, so I would be very happy if I saw Iron Boulder come out. We could see Raging Bolt come out and just try to like click an Electro move against me. But we're gonna see what the boy Matt elects to do here. I can't remember what he does at this point. I just played this match yesterday. Like I was going to edit this the next day, and I just heard the static, and I was like, oh my fucking god. Which my commentary, to be fair, wasn't the greatest. It was good though. You'll see I have some hype moments. like you know what I mean. But I didn't want to put out some staticky bullshit to you guys. I think my channel is better than that at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put out some static. And we do see the Raging Bolt come out, which kind of I didn't understand at this point, because if he clicks, I think he's trying to force me to make a misplay, and I cannot afford to make a misplay. Like, I cannot afford to make a misplay. I really don't think he clicks Electric Move here. Because if he does, I just go directly into my Landorus, right? I'm running a very bulky Jirachi, like max HP, max defense for the Iron Boulder, right? So I potentially don't outspeed, but he has to be running a lot of speed to outspeed me. So I'm debating it here if I want to risk going Landorus, and I just really need health on Landorus. If he clicks Draco Meteor, then he has a chance to kill me if he's offensive after I take rocks. So I'm thinking I can't risk it, and I just U-turn because I am fine with taking a little bit of chip. And he elects to click Thunderclap, which I thought Thunderclap was like the only play he probably couldn't click, because like I assume if he thought I was like a Scarf Jirachi, which you saw it took no damage from that Thunderclap, I really did just expect a Volt Switch there, to be honest. I didn't expect Thunderclap at all, but we can go Landorus now, and we are going to take rocks, which is fine. And at this point, we force a lot of damage, and we do see he is going to be the Citrus Berry, or whatever berry, and go back up to 75%. So not the best for us. Kind of the chip we've already gotten this Pokemon kind of is just useless, but this Pokemon is still at 75. It's not super healthy. We can elect to do a couple of things. We U-turn out probably on the Ogerpon coming out. He doesn't know my set, because if he hasn't seen this Landorus, if I'm physically offensive, then he could just go into the Great Tusk thinking that. He could also go Ogerpon, which if he goes Ogerpon, we're going to be doing a lot of damage with the U-turn. Excuse me. Even though we are not physically offensive, we only have like 80 special attack and 80 special attack EVs. We have no attack EVs. We do see the Draft Rig, aka Raging Bull, switch out, and it is going to be Great Tusk come out, which if I just clicked Earth Power there, then Earth Power and a Psychic killed. But we can just U-turn out now, and this kind of puts us in a tough situation, because we could go Jirachi, but we do not outspeed. I have to go immediately Rotomosh because of this. Martinez or Rotomosh has to come out, because Urshifu obviously does no damage, and Rotomosh is really our only bet. Here I am debating on a couple of things. So I really do need to play myself into a position where I can win, right? Because I still feel like I'm on the back foot. I feel like I have to Volt Switch here, because if he is a bulk upset, and based off that U-turn damage, I kind of could tell he was more bulky. Like he was not an offensive Great Tusk, and he was just there for the Urshifu. So I did not expect to bulk up. And if he did bulk up into close combat, there was a chance I lived. And we do get the play right. Very good play on my part, calling the switch there, and we can just Volt Switch out and gain some initiative. But at that point, or if we got the play wrong, if he was to knock off, that would be fine. We could live. Pretty sure we could live a knockoff into a close combat, or if we close combat, we got our Citrus Berry and we just Hydro Pump the next turn. But we do get the U-turn or the Volt Switch off, getting the play right. Now our Landorus has taken a bunch of chip, but since he went into his Great Tusk as the Landorus answer, I now know that the Yachi Berry is probably not needed. I outspeed that guy now. The whole point in that was also like a booster speed or a Choice Scarf Great Tusk, because that could come in theory. But now I'm kind of thinking, I was like, okay, so if I Earth Power here and he goes Enamorus, which he did, I assumed he was going to go Enamorus last time. If I Earth Power and he goes into the Landorus-Therian, then I can Sludge Wave or U-turn the next turn. But if that Enam T is a setup set, then I might lose, was my fear. But he goes into the Great Tusk, and this is amazing information for us. We Earth Power, we do a lot of damage, and this Pokemon is setting at about 52-ish%. And my calc said I did like minimum like 56-ish. So I am always just clicking Psychic here and trying to claim my KO, because the most he can do to me is Ice Spinner me, and then at that point my Yachi Berry kicks in, and he doesn't do too much damage after that. So I am completely fine with clicking Psychic here. And we click Psychic. Do we get the KO? Does Mainu get the KO? Mainu does. So very clutch for us. We're taking out Matt's best Pokemon, and another Urshifu check. So big kill for the Mainu. Our LANDORUS-THERIAN. And then after the match, his paste, he did not have Ice Spinner on that Great Tusk. So the most he would have done there was knock off me, or he could have tried to Rapid Spin. But he was a more support Great Tusk with heavy duty boots. Now he kind of has a couple of options. He could go Iron Boulder. That's probably the only real option. And the set that was brought a lot into me was a banded Iron Boulder, and then Keegan brought like a heavy duty boots one with Swords Dance. So I saw that he is not taking, or that he took the T-Spike. So I'm assuming at this point he's going to be, and we don't see a booster speed, or booster attack or anything like that. So at this point, I think he's choiced. He's either Choice Banded or Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf seemed kind of silly, but I think he could be Choice Banded. So the only thing I really have to do here is just go Jirachi. Like, Jirachi is chipped down pretty low at this point at 212, because I played poorly into the Raging Bolt. But I take no damage from Mighty Cleave, and if he gets to play right and he clicks Earthquake, then he kills me, but then I probably just go back into Landorus, because I think he is choice locked. Or if he clicks Close Combat, I should be able to live too, but if he's banded, I do not. So we see the Mighty Cleave come out, and we see he does no damage. And here I'm calcing it, trying to figure out what the rolls could have been, and I figure out he is not banded at all. No boosted item. He has to either be Scarf or he's Resistance Barrier of some sort, you know what I mean, or like a Healing Berry, you know what I mean, but not banded. So I assume he's Scarf. I didn't really know what other set he could be. Scarf is pretty good for like a Scarf Lando, Scarf Urshifu if I don't have Sucker Punch. Like, really, he has the Scarf Iron Boulder at this point. I'm like, he brought that trying to call my Scarf Urshifu with no Sucker Punch. So at this point, I'm okay with just clicking U-turn, because he really doesn't have. I also think he's like, if he's Scarf, it's fine. He cannot kill me with any one move. If he's packing Earthquake, then there is a chance he killed me here, I think. But if he does click Earthquake, I just go back into Landorus, and it's a free U-turn. So we do see the switch, so we're going to gain some more switch initiative with the big U-turn onto the Ogerpon, which is, this is going to do a lot of damage here. No attack investment, and we still do about 35-ish, 40-ish%. So big damage from the Jirachi, chipping that thing down. And then here, this is a pretty free Urshifu. Like, immediately, I just immediately go Urshifu. Bruno Fernandez is here. This Pokemon is in range of a U-turn. We just click U-turn because Great Tusk is down. So now the check is the Enamorus. So him keeping the Enamorus in the back really scares me, because I think that Enamorus is going to be like a fucking Iron Defense set with Calm Mind. You know what I mean? So like maybe a weakness policy as well. Because if you Calm Minds on my Royal Mosh, like the only thing I really have to combat that is to Nasty Plot, kind of first term meeting the boost if he does Calm Mind. It would come down to some really dicey plays, and we just see the Raging Bolt come out, which I was very surprised by. I kind of had to just U-turn there though, regardless, and now I can just freely go into my Landorus though, because at this point he does not switch into this Pokemon well. If he goes into the Enam, we Sludge Wave or we U-turn, but at this point, like, Urshifu could have got another KO there, but then I was locked into Wicked Blow. He just went into Enam and he got a free setup move. Was my thought process. So I really couldn't just lock Wicked Blow and risk that. Obviously, the Raging Bolt cannot Thunderclap. I'm a ground type. So here, I'm just going to elect Earth Power because I do think he's going to sack this Pokemon. If he goes into this as his sack piece, right, on the Urshifu, like he was willing to just sack it, then I think he's just going to sack this guy. So I'm just going to click Earth Power here. I really don't see any reason to overplay. I could have U-turned, but this Pokemon didn't die to a U-turn, unfortunately. But I do get the play right, and Big Manu is going to pick up another KO for us, coming in super, super clutch. Manu has been putting in work so far this week. Big Lando T. Lando T put in work last week too, so very clutch of our Landorus. Let's see if we can work our way back into this game. Like, I feel like I've played to my outs very, very well. I've made some good plays, and we do see the Iron Boulder come back out. Now, here I didn't really want to risk anything, and I was kind of curious to why Iron Boulder was the play. I was kind of debating if it was maybe Shuka, if that's why. It's like, if it's not Scarf, Shuka could make a little more sense for this Pokemon, for the Landorus. But here, I have no reason to not go into my Jirachi, because Jirachi is here solely for this Iron Boulder. And to a max physically defensive Enamorus, I do like 34 to 41 to a Enamorus with Iron Head for my Jirachi. So I really don't see the point keeping Jirachi around. And if it is choice locked, it has to lock into the Mighty Cleave at this point, and then I'm able to just get an Iron Head off on this, or the Enamorus, or the Ogerpon, which I would kill the Ogerpon. I would do decent damage to the Enamorus, and I would kill this as well. So he does no damage to us, and here I'm thinking this is just a free Iron Head, because if he is Scarfed, he's going to switch probably into Ogerpon and sack it, or into the Enamorus. But he doesn't know my set. He knows I'm very physically defensive. All I've revealed is U-turn, so I could be Flash Cannon trying to call the physically defensive Enamorus, because that is pretty telegraphed, because I have a Urshifu. So here I'm just thinking, like, okay, if he's Scarf Lock, I get a kill here, or I get big damage on an Enamorus, and then I threaten to flinch the next turn on an Enamorus anyways with the Iron Head with Serene Grace. So I'm fine with taking that type of thing. And we just see the CC, so he does switch up his moves. He is not Scarf, and he does kill me. So at this point, that kind of confirms it is Shuka Berry, which I can play around by U-turning out, and all that. Which this Pokemon is pretty chipped down anyways. It's down to about 65-ish%. So it's very close to being in range of just Iron Head from Urshifu. U-turn does a little less, obviously, but it is in range of Iron Head, and Iron Head is a pretty free play here, because if he decides to go into the Ogerpon, I kill. If he decides to stay in, I kill this Pokemon, and if it decides to go into Enamorus, I do like 40-ish%. So that's really my only play here, to try to win this game. I could have went into my Rotom Wash, maybe. Oh, excuse me. Rotom Wash could have maybe been the play, but that risked a lot of damage, and I would have got my Citrus Berry though. So maybe looking back in hindsight, Rotom Wash was the play here, but I get Rotom Wash, I get my Citrus Berry. I would risk myself missing a move though, and Hydro Pump, which I already missed a Triple Axle, so I did not want to risk anything else. So at this point, I'm thinking I can just Iron Head here. Shout out to John for switching, or telling me to do Iron Head. I had Poison Jab at first, but there was no point not running Iron Head, because it kills this Pokemon once it gets chipped, and it does damage to the Enam. Does the same amount of damage as Poison Jab did. So we're just going to look at Iron Head. We're going to see what his switch is, see if he stacks Ogerpon or goes into Enam. And we see the Enamorus-Therian come out, the Turtonator. We're going to see how much damage we do. I'm hoping he's not max Fizz Def, and we do a little more damage than we expected to do. We did about, well, we got like a max roll, like 40. We did about what we expected. And here I am very conflicted, I feel like I still need my Scarf Urshifu to deal with the Iron Boulder, so I cannot sack this. I could go for an Iron Head here and try to bait a flinch, and if I get a flinch, that's playing to outs, but I feel like I have better ways to deal with that. So at this point, the only thing I can really do is go Rotom Wash. And if he starts to set up, I click Nasty Plot alongside him, or I click the Thunderbolt. It just depends on what he clicks. Like if I go Rotom Wash here and he clicks Calm Mind, I click Thunderbolt, get some damage off. He probably Draining Kisses me and kills me. And then I have to go Urshifu, click Iron Head, and hope for a flinch. That's really the only thing I can go for here. And then hope for the best. But we're going to see what he decides to do. He was thinking for a while too. We do see the Enamorus is just going to click. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. We're down to 192. He clicks Moonblast. And I was like, oh, okay. So no setup move, which is fine by me. We get this special attack drop actually was very, very annoying. I'm not going to lie. Because my Thunderbolt would be doing like 48% to this guy, and now it is doing like 25. So if he has a setup set, I fucking lose the game. Right? Like, I lose the game. So that's why I was very annoyed. Here, I'm debating on clicking Volt Switch or Thunderbolt or Hydro Pump. Don't really know what to do at this point. Hydro Pump does a little bit more damage because of the special attack drop. I think Hydro Pump, or no, I'm stupid. I'm yapping. I just clicked Thunderbolt here, I believe, but the play is to definitely just Volt Switch. But I also was just scared of the Enamorus being set up. But Volt Switch was definitely the play because I Volt Switched, and if he Calm Minded, Iron Head was my only out at this point was to Iron Head flinch. And we do see the switch, and I'm very fucking mad at myself because if I Volt Switched on the Ogerpon, it was the freest U-turn with Urshifu. So I make a horrible misplay, and I'm putting myself in a horrible spot because now if he is the fucking Trailblaze set, which he hasn't revealed anything, he just revealed knockoff. But if he is the Trailblaze set, then I kind of put myself in a horrible spot. Like I lose the game. Because Landorus gets the Intim on the Ogerpon, and that's why I'm fucking mad at myself at this point. I kind of have to just sack and hope for the best, right? I misplayed. Big misplay on my part. I was behind. I should have played. I mean, I played myself in a great position, guys. I put myself in a great position, and you see, even with the great positioning, I made one bad misplay. And we see BBR Coaches, so I am fucking relieved. that is not a Trailblaze set. So at this point, we just go Urshifu, and we just click Iron Head. That's really my only play. And I know for a fact he is trying to get the Defiant boost and win with Ogerpon at this point. Since he did not set up with the Enamorus, I really feel like he's just trying to get the Landorus in on this Ogerpon so it gets the Defiant boost. So my thought process is, I click Iron Head here, I kill Ogerpon. I click Iron Head here, if he switches, he goes Iron Boulder, I kill Iron Boulder. If he goes into the Enamorus, I 2-hit KO the Enamorus because it is about 52%. And I do about 40 with Iron Head. So I'm in a good spot. If he goes into the Iron Boulder on this Iron Head and I kill, and then he goes Enamorus, I have to stay in and click Iron Head again and just hope for a flinch. Because if Landorus comes in on the Ogerpon and he gets the Defiant boost, I automatically lose. So I click Iron Head, I kill this. Okay. And now it comes down to if Urshifu can get a flinch on the Enamorus. That's what it all comes down to. Because I can't go LANDORUS-THERIAN because after rocks, I die to a Moonblast. Since he did reveal the Moonblast. And that's all I can really hope for. That's all I can really hope for is an Iron Head flinch. Because if I get an Iron Head flinch, Urshifu cleans the game up for me. If I do not, then, well, we have to hope on a roll, I'm pretty sure. So that's what I'm calcing now, is to see if Lando can live a Moonblast after rocks, and I see that it cannot. And then at this point, I'm trying to calc to see if Landorus lives an Ivy Cudgel from the Ogerpon. So I'm probably going to wait to see if I get the Iron Head flinch to fully calc that. Because if I do not live, then there's no point in trying. Like, it'd be better for me to try to go Lando now. But I saw that there was a chance that I live anyways, and I'm going to try to play to my out on the Iron Head flinch here. Trying to calc some stuff out like 5 seconds. I was like, fuck it, I just gotta click my move. I click Iron Head with 2 seconds left. I can see if I get a flinch. I don't get a flinch, and now this is coming down to a LANDORUS-THERIAN roll. Big Manu has to come in clutch. I do have a lot of HP investment, to be fair. I have 200 HP, so it is a roll at this point, depending on the Ogerpon set. But now that we didn't get Landers in on the Ogerpon, making it to where Ogerpon got the Defiant boost, there is a chance for us to win now. There is a chance, guys. There is a fucking chance. I just clicked Sludge Wave here. I killed this guy. And Big Manu going to pick up a third KO for us, putting in a lot of work for us this week, just like Manu does in real life. And now it comes down to a roll. So this roll was very, 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 very close, right? So I'm going to pull it up right now. I was... How much HP? The only play I have here is to click Sludge Wave and hope I live this, right? The roll was very, very close. I'm at 185. He clicks Ivy Cudgel. Do I live? Do I live? I fucking live. Let's go. Let's go. You see me freaking out. I'm like, that's why he's my GOAT. That's my GOAT. Lando T living on 10%. Came in very clutch for us. So the roll with Ivy Cudgel, it had a 43.8% chance to kill me. 43.8% chance to kill me. So it was a roll in my favor. So before anyone's like, oh my god, you got lucky, it was a roll in my favor. Was it slightly in my favor by 56.2%? Yes. But I still got the roll. And I win 1-0 versus Matt. GG's to the Matt, man. He played super well. The Sneasel miss put me in a really bad spot, but I think I played perfectly to put myself back in a position to win that game. The only misplay I really had, in my opinion, was not Vol switching on the Enamorous when the Enamorous switched into the Ogerpon. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs, so it would help me out a ton. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Catch you guys later.